Ever since everything that came out about Colleen last month, a lot of people have been waiting for Trisha to make a statement. When everything was coming out, they had just started a new podcast together, and people felt like Trisha needed to come forward and address where she stood with Colleen. After a few weeks of silence, Trisha has finally come forward to talk about her own personal experience with Colleen, and it's actually really heartbreaking. It's a mess, so let's get into it. Trisha and Colleen have been friends for quite some time now. Trisha has always talked about how much she looks up to her being a mom and having a career, and you could tell Trisha really valued the friendship they had. When they came together to start their podcast, Trisha seemed really excited. She had Moses build this whole entire set, they dressed up and planned outfits, and you could tell she was having so much fun. It's no secret that Trisha loves doing podcasts, and this felt like a new positive venture for her. Colleen was actually the one who received a ton of backlash for teaming up with Trisha. People said that she was going to drag her down, she was going to create drama and expose her in the end, and they told Colleen to watch out for herself. But little did they know, it would actually be the exact opposite. Yesterday, Trisha posted a video titled Colleen. In this video, you could tell Trisha was extremely hurt and uncomfortable. This wasn't the type of video we're used to from Trisha when she's talking about someone. This was a very level-headed, calm, and put-together video where she got all her feelings out and made it clear where she stands with Colleen. She started off the video by talking about everything that's come out over the past month and made it clear that she doesn't stand behind any of that. She said she didn't even know about any of the stuff that's come out, and when she saw the way that Colleen handled the situation, she was shocked. She did say that she stayed in touch with Colleen because she's been there before, and she knows what it feels like to be canceled.
I think everyone can take accountability and grow. Like, I really do think people can change their ways and stuff like that. Her video came out, and I was just shocked, to say the least, that she didn't at least acknowledge the stuff that her own fans were saying, how they felt, and she sent me the link to her video, her apology video, and I didn't respond back to it because I was shocked. Weeks prior to the apology video, we were staying in touch because, again, I know what it feels like to have the whole internet come down on you, even if the whole internet is right. I don't want anyone, guilty or not, to ever feel like they don't have someone to talk to, that there's not a way out of a situation, that there's not a way to make a situation right.
That all changed when someone came out with information about how Colleen was talking about Trisha. A fan had posted screenshots of their conversation with Colleen where she would take screenshots of Trisha from her OF and she would send them to these fans and pretty much mock and make fun of Trisha.
Two boys, both one I believe was 20 at the time, and one who was 14 at the time. Both the 14-year-old's alleged, because I didn't speak on this because I didn't see anything. I do not condone at all unsolicited sending unsolicited to anyone of anybody, using someone's as a way to hurt them, make fun of them, make light of them, be mean is the lowest form of human, the lowest form of intelligence. I think that's so inhumane.
Now, I'm not going to be showing any of these messages for obvious reasons, but Trisha has seen them and she's heartbroken. Trisha made it clear that she's not embarrassed for these photos being out there. She's embarrassed for Colleen for actually stooping to that level and being the kind of person who could do that to someone.
I'm embarrassed for her. I try to take myself out of these equations when I'm feeling triggered, and if I were to look at it as it happening to someone else, I wouldn't be humiliated for the person in the photos. I'd be humiliated for the person who sent them, although it can be humiliating for the person in the photos as well.
And let's just make this clear. It's not like Colleen was super young and she made a mistake and didn't know better. Colleen was well into her 30s and had kids, and this is what she was doing on her free time. Trisha said the craziest part was Colleen actually had Trisha over to her house only a month prior to sending her pictures to fans and making fun of her.
The fan said, "Hey, congratulations on becoming parents," which a month later she just responds with a of me and says, "You look so pretty in this." And these weren't a long time ago. This is a month prior. I was in her house meeting her child and doing a mukbang, meeting her newborn and doing a mukbang with her.
Trisha said that Colleen and her friends would have viewing parties to make fun of Trisha and the content she was putting out on that website.
They showed the viewing parties that were talked about to make fun of me. They did viewing parties of my content to make fun of me. And there's a friend of hers who I actually met as well back in 2018 with his face posing next to images of me. And there was a video of it, and it's a lot. It's a lot.
Now, Trisha actually did approach Colleen a few weeks back before all the screenshots came out, and she confronted her and asked her if she was doing this. She asked her if she was sending these photos around, and Colleen denied it. Colleen apparently tried to blame it on the fans in the chats, trying to say they were the ones sending the photos and not her.
I did ask her about these a couple weeks ago before there was the proof, so to speak, right? And she assured me that she had never sent photos of me. This one fan who was underage at the time would send photos to her. She's like, no, he was a fan. He sent photos to me and he was obsessed with you. And he would just send me it. And once in a while, I'd like respond to him and be like, hey, okay. That's what she told me a couple weeks ago.
Colleen had so many chances to just be honest and at least give Trisha the respect of knowing what she did before she has to learn from someone on Twitter. If Colleen felt bad and had any amount of regret for how she talked about Trisha, she would have told her and just owned up to things. Of course, Trisha would still be extremely hurt, but it would have been nicer to hear it from Colleen herself. Trisha was explaining how she felt when she finally read those messages, and she said that her heart was racing and she felt triggered. She explained that she hasn't been triggered like that in a while, but obviously seeing something like that coming from someone you thought was a friend is just impossible to process.
Saying she saw a whale squirt, and she wasn't talking about Trisha Paytas. I sent her that as well, and she said everything's taken out of context, like these are lies.
Trisha ended up apologizing better to these fans than Colleen ever did.
I am so sorry to that person. If this is true, I'm so sorry. I know firsthand how traumatizing that can be. I had nothing to do with this. I do not condone it. I think it's the most disgusting thing, and above all else, illegal. And to the person she sent, who was, I think, 20 at the time, maybe 21. I still think it's disgusting. A grown woman in their 30s doing this to someone who is in their house, been around their family. Like, you have some issues. It's a sickness.
She made it clear she does not stand behind Colleen and acknowledged how horrible Colleen's so-called apology video was and how embarrassed she is to even be associated with her.
She just does not exist to me anymore. Just publicly disavowing any association I have with her.
I have to say, Trisha handled this so incredibly well. We've seen Trisha react to her friends talking badly about her behind her back before, and it's never a good reaction. How could it be? It's hurtful, and what Colleen did was on a whole nother level of wrong and illegal and hurtful and just such a betrayal of that friendship. She started to do this podcast with her, she was so excited, and it seemed to be going okay. Only to find out she was sitting next to someone who was mocking her in the most hurtful way possible. A lot of people under the video are expressing how hurt they are for Trisha, writing, "Regardless of her past, there's no justifying what Colleen did to her. How evil can you be? Absolutely disgusted. I'm so sorry this happened, Trisha. I'm so sorry you went through this, Trish. As a fellow entertainer, I know how hard this must be, and you handled this with such grace and maturity." People were pointing out how horrible it was for Colleen to know that she was talking like this about Trisha. She knew that she sent those photos illegally. She knew she was having these viewing parties to mock Trisha, and she still made a podcast with her. Colleen sat beside Trisha for weeks, talking like they were best friends. I mean, talk about having absolutely no guilty conscience. It's just so mean. And for Colleen to not even admit to Trisha when she had the chance, trying to claim it was all out of context, there's no remorse there, and I'm so happy Trisha handled this the way she did. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about everything down below, and I'll see you next time.